For our next presentation, we're continuing the discussion of Windows Server 2025 operating system installation. And this is if you run across a problem, a agonizing nightmare where your Ethernet does not work. So NUC is our NUC mini computers that we've been using. This presentation is one in the series entitled Secure IT Infrastructure Demystified. And of course, software engineering, we have to have a acronym for everything. So SITID, pronounced cited. I hath been to the mountaintop and I hath sighted the promised land. We have seen the light. So if you haven't seen the cited series intro presentation, please view that now. The link is in the description of this presentation. And we're doing this series in response to the reality that many small and medium businesses are struggling with cybersecurity. And here is the audiences. And in this series, we're going to be delving into not only what to do, but how to do it. Here's a couple of my certifications. This is the network topology diagram of all that we're going to be building. And all demos in this series are going to be done with newly installed operating systems and services. This is important because if an existing software infrastructure is used for a demo, we're virtually certain to miss critical steps, because those critical steps might have been done weeks, months, or even years ago and entirely forgotten. So we will not forget any critical steps by virtue of using newly installed operating systems and services. So we've completed the installation of our Windows Server 2025 operating system, and we've done this on our NUC mini PC, and the Ethernet doesn't work. Okay, so here's our network topology diagram, and we're still working on our Windows Server 2025. And what we've got here is this is a physical host, right, a physical computer. This is a physical router on our network. And this connection, which is a wired Ethernet Cat6 connection, it's not working. Okay, we cannot connect to the network. This is a slide from one of our previous presentations. So what we're dealing with here potentially is a network driver failure. One of our previous presentations, we endeavored to resolve that problem by doing a secure erase and then a reinstallation. That may or may not have worked. If it didn't work, you may be looking like this guy here. And this is the international symbol for cussing and a vile language. So let's look at how this should be. All right, so here we are on one of our servers. And if we go into Control Panel and then Network and Sharing Center, and then change adapter settings, we should see at least Ethernet there. Okay. However, it may be, if you're unlucky, that you've got this. It's completely blank. We're going to walk through this step by step, the entire procedure. And if you remember, somebody came up with this acronym, too long didn't read. But we are going to engage here with pretty long, had to read it. And fear not, we're going to go through this and it's going to work. And we're all going to live happily ever after in the land where dreams come true. So this is on a GM Tech PC that I've got. And this is all going to look a little different depending on what your BIOS is, okay? If you have a GM Tech, it should look identical to this. or if you have some other hardware, you need to first get into your BIOS and then find your Ethernet controller. And right here, I've circled in red, this is an Intel Ethernet controller, and the model is I226-V. If you're having trouble finding this screen in your BIOS, this is hopefully going to help out a bit. So while your PC is restarting, okay, so turn your PC off, restart it, you're going to hit one of these keys here, okay? And if you have a GM Tech machine, you're going to get something that looks like this. Although they may change this in the future. They change this all the time. And then you click on the advanced. And then you get to this advanced screen and you have the specific Ethernet controller that's installed on your mini PC. And now we need to go and find that driver. Now we're going to find our driver. So what I did and what you can do is go into Copilot or ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever and ask, where can I find drivers for, and this is the exact name of the controller that I need. We got that earlier. And it gave me this web page. This is intel.com. Okay. And then you're going to click View Details there. And you'll get to this page. And you're going to click those two. And it'll download 2 zip files for you. Okay. So after you download those, you're going to take those zip files, put them onto a USB flash drive, right? Because that's the only way we could get them over to our server, right? Because the server isn't connected to the network yet. So you copy those files to your Windows 2025 server host. That's the one with the bad network. And you extract the contents of each zip file. So here's the 2 zip files. You're going to right mouse click on those guys and do extract. And you're going to get 2 folders. And now we have procured the drivers that we need. So the next item in this saga, this melodrama, this took my team and I about 2 weeks of rolling around on the ground and wailing and gnashing of teeth to determine this procedure to actually install the driver, okay? And so if you have the Intel 226, I226V driver here, here's how to do it. Okay, so you open a command window as administrator. So you come down here, you type CMD, get the command prompt, run as administrator. And then this is where we copied that folder onto our server, okay? So this is on the C drive, so we're going to do a change directory into that folder, okay? So that's just a change directory command, right? Then we run this command, pnp util /add-driver, the name of that INF file, space, and /install, and it'll come back and it'll say driver added successfully. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Okay, now we're not done. We're not done. So then you're going to go into Device Manager here, okay? And let's actually go onto our server and we'll do that together so you know exactly what's going on here. So in your search menu here, you find device driver, okay? Click on that, and then you're going to have, in there, it's going to say Ethernet controller, okay? Under other devices, okay? Now, it's not here right now because I've already fixed this, but there'll be network controller and there'll be Ethernet controller. You right mouse click on the Ethernet controller that's in other devices. Do update drivers. You do browse my computers for drivers. Do let me pick. And now you have to scroll down to network adapters, and next. Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint here. So we've gone to network adapters. We click next. Then you scroll down to Intel, and then you scroll down to, here it is. This is our driver that we just installed, the Intel Ethernet controller i226IT. And you click next. And there it is. Glory, hallelujah. Windows has successfully updated your drivers. Next, we want to verify this actually worked. So in the server manager, you're going to go to Ethernet here and click on this IPv4 address. Let's go on the server, see this in living color. All right, so here we are on the server, and we're going to open up the server manager. And then we'll click on local server. And this is what I showed you earlier. Okay, it's going to be something like that, and but it's under Ethernet. And you click on that, and we're going to see that the Ethernet is now successfully installed. You won't see that yet. We're going to do that in one of the next presentations in this series. So there it is. That's exactly what you should see. So this is under network and internet, and you're going to see Ethernet that was blank before. So excellent. We've got that installed. We're getting close to the end. So now we need to set this up as a static IP address. Whenever you have a server, almost always you want to have a static IP. All right. So how do you do that? Well, you come to your Ethernet here, you double click on that, and you're going to get a screen that looks like this. You're going to click on Properties. Then you're going to highlight Internet Protocol version 4. Click on that Properties button. And then you're going to put in an IP address, and you could use that one, that 200. It'll put in that subnet mask for you, and then you put in that as your default gateway. Now, you need your DNS server addresses, okay? And to get that, go to any other PC on your network. So let's say your Windows 11 or your Windows 10 PC, which I'm on here right now. And we're going to type CMD. This does not have to be opened as administrator. And you type IP config /all, okay? And right here, right there, that's your DNS servers. So you can see I put those exact IP addresses down here. And that sets us up for a static IP address, okay? On your server, you can do a ping 8.8.8.8. So we'll demo that here. Ping. So this you're going to do on your server where you just revive the network and install those network drivers. And make sure you get a reply. If you got that, you're golden, okay? Now, the last thing you want to do is go into Server Manager here, okay? Local server, remote desktop, and enable. So we did all that work with a physical monitor, a PC display, and a physical mouse and a physical keyboard that were connected directly to our NUC mini PC. And of course, we had to do that because this thing isn't on network, right? What we've done is we've successfully put it on the network. So this connection that was not working previously, we just fixed all that. So let's now prove that we could get at that thing. And if you remember earlier here, we enabled remote desktop. So if you don't know what is remote desktop, we're on our Windows 11 PC workstation here. Down here at the very bottom, you do search, you type RDP, and it'll find remote desktop connection. And we put in the IP address, the static IP address that we established for our brand new server where we just revived the Ethernet driver, and connect. And you have to say yes to that warning. Dun, 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 big drum roll. And there she is. The first time you'll have to put in your administrator password, but you'll get in here and we have successfully resolved this nightmare. Yeah.